Welcome to the refresher training for Science Unit 1, Lesson 5 on transforming science information. And in this lesson, students will be able to transform knowledge from visual to text and vice versa. They'll be able to compare and integrate different representations of science processes. They will begin to understand the role of models, animations, and multiple representations of information in science. And they'll be able to explain science processes through discussion, writing, and drawing science processes. So, activities 1 and 2 are understanding the role of science animations, and students will learn about the importance of transforming science information by viewing, drawing, and writing about several different animations. So what do you need to know? The first thing is to model the process by showing students an animation on enzymes. Now remember, they've just done a whole activity on enzymes. They've thought about enzymes. They should be pretty, have depth of knowledge on that particular science process. So you'll model the whole protocol using enzymes as your examples so that when we get to the new science processes, students will know what they're doing. So you wanted to ask students what they learned in previous lessons to think about how the animations can be useful for learning science processes, terminologies, functions. So what an animation is a visual representation of the science process. It's not a cartoon. It's showing students step by step how the science process goes, and they'll work through several of these in the lesson. So for each concept, students will read about the process in the textbook, view and discuss the static diagrams that are in the book, and view the animations. And so the processes that we're using for this are really short paragraphs in the text. They don't spend a lot of time on them, but they're very important processes for students to understand. So using this method, we're slowing it down so that students can take it one by one, understand each process. And so here's how it will go as they view the animations. So the protocol is you'll show the animation using the links that are in the lesson plans, and you can show them with the sound and the captions on. And so students will just watch them. They won't take notes. They'll just watch them. Then they can watch it a second time if they need to. Then you'll turn off the sound and the caption, and there's just two little buttons right by the play button that you can click so that you can show the animation without the sound and without the captions. And what students will do is write their own caption as the animation is being viewed. So you know how under each diagram in a book there's a little caption underneath explaining what's going on in that diagram? That's essentially what students are writing down. So as they watch the animation without the sound on, they will write their own caption. It's probably important to watch the animations twice in this way. The first pass they can get the broad ideas, and then in the second pass they can make sure they've really honed their caption. And so you'll go through each process like this. They'll read about it in the book. They'll watch the animation with the sound on. Then they'll watch it with the sound off, writing their own caption. And once they have the captions for all of the different animations, they're going to pair up with a partner to transform the information from text to visual. So one person in that partnership will read their caption and the other person will draw the process, and then they can switch roles back and forth. You can switch partners so that everybody has a chance to read and draw. And here's the kicker. They need to draw what that person says from their caption. So it's not just what they remember from the animation, because part of what we want to do is make sure students are being precise in what they're writing down. And so after they pair up and they draw each other's captions, they can talk about what went right, what was in the information that was really good and helpful in them understanding the process, and also what might have been missing. What could students do to be more precise as they write out the captions, write out the animations? And by doing this, they're watching it, they're writing it, they're drawing it, they're also reading about it, so they're able to understand a science process from multiple representations. This is a key part of learning in the sciences. Once they've done all of the different animations, they'll look at transforming a static diagram. So they're going to apply their knowledge of transforming science information, writing out the processes of exocytosis and endocytosis using the diagram in their textbook. So again, they'll use the diagram to write out a caption, use that caption to draw the process, to really make sure that they can do it not just with animations, but even when they have static diagrams in their textbook, they're able to represent that information in multiple ways, which deepens their understanding of what they're learning. So the goals of this lesson are using multiple representations to understand science processes and to think about the vocabulary and terminology through understanding the science concepts. And this is a good time, once again, to remind students that learning vocabulary in science is not strictly a memorization task. They really need to always connect those terms to whatever process is being discussed. And so when they're learning about exocytosis and endocytosis, it's really important that they know all those components, all the terminology that's connected to those two ideas. So in that way, instead of learning individual words, they're learning entire ideas together, which makes for much deeper understanding. And that is essentially Lesson 5.